Hello, everyone. My name is Gina Gleason with Real Impact here at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. So welcome to our program tonight. I'm very excited to introduce to you a very, very special guest, a woman that I had heard about as I study and research what's going on in the culture, a mom who has faced tragedy in her life, but who has become very outspoken and bold to tell her story about her daughter Yaley and what she experienced as she was growing up in California public schools. So I'm very glad to welcome my new friend, Abigail Martinez. Thank you for being with us, Abigail.
Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure to meet you face to face after hearing your story and watching you be interviewed by organizations like Alliance Defending Freedom and Heritage Foundation, and just being out there and telling your story. So thank you so much for being bold and courageous and willing to be with us tonight, because our hope is to help other families, and I know that's your hope.
Yes,
Absolutely. So Abigail, before we get into what happened with Yaley, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
I'm a mother of 4. I have 2 children. Catherine, who is a school psychologist. I have Raziel, who was in the Marines for 4 years. Now she's a veteran now. She retired. So Benjamin, who is 20, and Jaylee Moselle, she was 19 when she passed away.
When she passed away, was she the youngest at the time?
She's the middle one of the 3,
Okay.
youngest one. Because
Okay.
my first one with the second one, they are 7 years apart.
Okay.
And then the 3 last one were pretty
Okay.
close in age.
And did you raise them in Southern California?
Yes, but we moved to El Salvador for 5 years and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I was living there with them. They went to a British school, private school. And then in 2011, we moved back.
Okay. So then Yaley got part of the public school system when she got back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when she got back to the public school system, she was about how old then at that time?
She was 11. She's my child is 2000.
Okay.
She was born in 2000.
So at that time, when she was 11 years old, what was she like? Tell us about Yaley.
She was very funny. She loved, dance, dress up, since she was little. But when we came back to California, things didn't go the way that she maybe expected.
In what way?
The schools.
Okay.
They complain about the schools, friends, and the first year they went to, I didn't know we were living in Arcadia, but it was El Monte school district.
Okay.
They was asking me just to move them out. I didn't know where to move. We just recently moved. My friend told me that it was a good school. They didn't like it, so we moved to Arcadia. So they went to Arcadia School District,
Okay.
Foothill Middle School, and then Arcadia High School.
So what didn't they like about the schools? Was it the friends, the teaching, the curriculum?
The teaching, yeah.
Okay.
And I think everything. They were coming from a small school, private school, and then everything was so different for them.
Okay. And what was Yaley like at that time, as far as, did they even know back then about anything having to do with gender identity or transition, or
No.
she
no.
was introduced
When they
to
were
that at an older age?
Yeah, when she was, probably when she was going into 8th grade.
Okay.
I noticed, but before that, she was going into depression. I saw her like things were not the way that she really expected when we came back. So they didn't like the school. And she was like, she looked unhappy. Like she didn't want to go back to that school. And I said, well, just finish this year and we're going to move to a different area. I didn't know. So we moved, we did. And then she went to Foothill Middle School. She
Okay.
got bullied there.
Why
So,
did she get bullied?
yeah, girls. And I went to the principal and addressed the issue.
Was she bullied on her appearance, or what were
They
they
make fun
targeting?
for everything. She was very thin,
Okay.
tall, and no matter what she dressed, like with dress short skirt, they always make fun. They always make her feel like she was nobody.
Okay. Sad.
Yeah. So then she's starting to go into social media, meeting kids who were cutting, and she was trying to help them
Oh.
not to do it, but she was too young to deal with that. And then high school was not what I really expect.
So did she become more depressed, or
Yes,
what? How did that manifest?
yes.
Okay.
More depressed. She always looked very anxious. When at the end of freshman year, she, summertime was, like heaven for her. She was Yaley. Before, all freshman year, it was like t-shirt, pants, sad. Try to get her some help, talk to the school, trying to get help. But I didn't know what they were doing
So
because she was going on, under depression, and I didn't like her grades went down. So I was seeking for help.
so then you sought help at the school, and was that the whole beginning of her gender confusion at the time? Would you say that was the point?
Yes, that was when she was going like, oh, I think I like girls. She didn't say anything to me.
Okay.
They talked with her, the two sisters. And they kept it, to themselves. So, but when things didn't go, right, no matter what I do, I seek for help. A therapist, and you need help, and I'm gonna help you. But you gotta be open to me and tell me what's going on. But the school, when I went and asked for help, what they did is send my daughter to the LGBTQ club. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know. But when she finished freshman year, she was so happy. She cut her hair. They usually have blonde hair. And then she asked me to buy her some extensions. She didn't like it. So I did. She bought new clothes for summer, skirt, shorts, everything like she used to. So, and she even saved two outfits, one for the day that she was gonna take the picture and the first day of school. When the day was coming, I saw her like she was very anxious, and she was sad again. She even like a boy who, because she was going to summer school, and she liked this boy, and she took an hour for her to get ready, makeup and everything, and drop her off. And I used to tell her, Jaylee, we have to go. I don't want you to be late. No, I'm coming. Oh, beautiful,
Oh.
like a Barbie. And but before 10th grade is when I saw her going like that pressure. She felt like, okay, I'm going back. I even asked her to move to a different school. And she got quiet. She said no, but DCFS was involved. So I talked to them and I told them that school is not the right fit for my child. So I need to move her. I was told not to do it because that will make her depression even worse.
So DCFS, that stands for Department of Children and Family Services.
Yes.
How did they get involved in your family?
Because my daughter was attempting suicide.
Okay.
And she was in the 8th grade when that happened the first time. So what I did, I took her to Methodist Hospital just to have, check it up and that everything was okay with her. So, but instead of, they told me, yeah, she's okay. And I said, okay, can I take her home now? Or what else are we waiting? Oh, we're waiting for the social service. And I go like, why? She's okay, right? Yeah, but when these things happen, we need to report.
Okay.
So that's when they got involved.
And so what was their response to you? What did they do? Did they tell you you couldn't do certain things? Or what was that interaction with that services
Oh, yes.
department?
Yes, I couldn't do much like on the year that because I like them to be busy doing sport, but she was not even, she never liked sport. She tried when she was little, but she ran away from the balls. And so my two others, my second one and my fourth one, I enrolled them in the police academy because I heard all that what they learn, what they teach. I say, yeah, they need to be busy. So she was gonna go too, but because the social worker was there, my daughter was told that if she didn't feel like doing it, not because I asked, she didn't have to do it. So she said, after all, I'm not gonna join the academy. And I said, why? You were excited about it. No, because I get to decide whether I like to do it or not.
So it sounds like they were planting thoughts and
Oh,
ideas into her
yes.
head.
Yes.
And did you feel that through the whole time that she was under their
Oh,
care,
yes. Oh,
management?
yes. When I took away her iPad, because she was going into social media, talking to people that I didn't allow them to talk with, she reported that to the social worker. The social worker asked her, did your mom give it to you or you bought it with your own money? No, I saved my money. Okay, so it's your iPad. So you gotta tell your mom that it's your iPad and she's not. So she did, and I say, my house, my rules.
Exactly.
And you're not ready to go to have a cell phone or iPad or any of those equipments.
So they were trying to override your parental decisions.
Yes.
And was that throughout the time that they were involved in your family?
Yes.
So that's pretty scary.
It is. It is because once they take your child away, they want you to go to court. You wanted to go to visit your child, but you can't take any decision. You cannot say, oh, okay, now I'm taking for example, my child. Because I didn't want them to feel, I say my child, I didn't say Jaylee, or because that was putting my visit in danger with them. I have to use, the Andrew. You pick Andrew.
Okay. So at some point, she's in the 11th grade now, and you're starting to see
10th grade.
10th grade.
Yes.
And you're starting to see more of a drastic change, and the Department of Child and Family Services is involved in your family life. And then did it get to the point sometime soon after where she felt that she was now a boy, or how did that
Yes,
happen?
when she was in 9th grade is when she didn't say anything to me. But yeah, that's when the school helped her to go through all this. Now that I'm, looking at the picture and going back with memory, and I said, oh my goodness, I didn't know that they were my worst enemy. Because I seek for help. And what they did is introduce her into the, this gender identity.
Do you know who specifically who put her down that path in the school?
Well, they have this club, and there was a parent, I think they called the groomers, because a parent who her daughter was going in through, who she was 2 years older than my daughter, and they became best friends. So they are the one who, with the help of the school, of course, because the school knew, the psychology knew, so, but me.
Okay. Now, did you ever meet the best friend? Did she come to the house, or how did you know she was best friends with her?
Because friend in commons that they had, they said, oh, Jaylee and Kaden, they are, wow, they click, and I go like, she was not my daughter's best friend. She manipulated, she was older than my daughter. So this parent is the one who helped my daughter, or kidnapped my daughter, let's be clear.
Okay.
They kidnapped my daughter at the end of July, beginning of August.
What grade was
came,
that?
She was still in summer break.
Okay.
She was going into 10th grade.
Okay.
So they came into my house, well, not into my house, but outside. They was waiting for her for 5 minutes. And we had a good morning. We dropped off my two kids because she was going, under the pressure. I never left her home alone. Always, Yaylee, let's go. Going to the store, come with me. So on that day, we went to the farmer market in Pasadena after I dropped off my 5 o'clock, my other two kids. So went back home, and then I asked her, would you like to go to the farmer market? And she go like, yeah. And she had a lot of fun. We walk around, would you like this? She used to love to buy those honey and sticks. So look, they have different flavors. So we had a good time. Around 11, I believe, after we went to the farmer market and back, I washed the, vegetables and putting everything away. She asked me if we can watch a movie together since we were alone. And I said, yeah, pick any. So I was cleaning the kitchen and finished everything when I went to the living room, and I asked her, Jaylee, I'm here. Let's sit down. What movie are we watching? But I wasn't watching. I was talking to myself because she was gone. So then I started, looking for her. Went to the pool, behind the, everywhere. And then I remember that I broke down and went on the floor, and I screamed her name. And I said, Jaylee, don't do this to me. I thought she was hiding. And then my mind went, the worst. She was talking with someone online. And how, sex trafficking, and I was afraid of all that. So I cried. I felt that I went to the bathroom and threw up. It was a big impression. My mind went very far. So I called the police. They showed up. They were looking for her because they knew that, they were connected with the school. So they were looking. I contacted some of their common friends that they had, if they knew anything about Jaylee, have you heard anything, if she with Kaden is. They say, no, but let me call you back. Let me call Kaden. I never got her phone number. So I met with this parent once, and she was very immature. She wants my daughter to go and have a sleepover at their house, and it was absolutely no. I never allow my kid to have a sleepover. And I didn't want to, I was not going to allow her to go there. So I didn't allow her. And she, oh, you told me that your mom didn't, she's not going to allow you to go to our house. She was talking like a teenage kid. And I said, well, I don't allow my kids, but can we take her to the farmer market? And I said, yes, to the farmer market, but when you're done, please give me a call and I'll pick her up. So they didn't. And when my daughter came back, she was wearing a different clothes. So I said, that's not your sweater, and where's your clothes? Oh, we went to their house. And I said, you didn't have my permission. So that was the first time and last time that I allowed her to go with them. And then they were the one who went to pick her up, kidnap my daughter on that Saturday,
How long was she with them?
the whole weekend. They dropped her off instead of, because they knew that the police was looking, everybody, the school sent message to the, I don't know, over 3,000 kids that attend to that school. So, and they didn't drop her off. They took her to the police station. And they, groom her like what to say, what not to say. And that's how when the police came to my house, we found your daughter. And I said, where is she? I thought she was in the hospital. And can I go get her? Can I go see her? And she said, ma'am, you have to wait for the social worker she's gonna get in contact with you. And I go like, why? There is allegations that your daughter is making against you. So she's gonna go with them.
That must have been heartbreaking.
It was because she never came back.
Okay. After that, she was in the custody of the Department of Child and Family Services the whole time?
Yes.
What age was that?
She was 16 when they took her away, and when she passed, she was 19. And she was still under their care.
Okay, and she never came home from that day on at 16. Okay, so that's a long time. Even 2 days is a very long time.
Yes.
Okay, so once she was taken away from you and accused, did you have to go to court, or what happened
Yes.
to you?
The first time I went, I remember it was August, the first time I was never been in court, not even for a ticket. And this is my child.
Yes,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I was lost. I didn't know what, and I want her to come back home. I remember the attorney because that was another issue that I was searching and looking for a attorney to represent me and get my daughter back. Nobody wants to. I couldn't get any attorney, so I got the one that they assigned. So I remember that this attorney came to me 3 times and asked me the same question. Are you sure you want to leave your case here? I didn't know anything. I thought, yes, this is children's court, right? Yes. He went back. So have you thought about it? So before we go inside, you get to decide whether you want to take the case. And I said, in my mind, what am I going to take? I don't know anything about, going to court and what's the best fit. And why are you asking me? He didn't say a thing. So Third time, okay, so we're ready to go. You sure that you're leaving the case here? Because this is the children's court. And I say, yes. And that's why I'm here, I assuming.
Was he trying to give you a clue?
Yes, but I didn't
He
know.
didn't know.
I didn't know until, a month or every 2 months we used to go to court. And when the judge ordered the hormone treatment,
Okay, wait a minute.
yeah,
So you went to the court for the first time, and that's when the judge ordered that she could have hormone treatment?
that was the game for them to get me, to convince me that that was the best thing to do with her. And I always, every time we went to court, I say, no, what my child need is mental health. You need to focus on her depression. She's under depression, and whatever you tell her, she's gonna say yes. That's gonna help me. So I didn't agree with. So after, when she was 17, I believe they just told everyone, because LGBT group Rise was there pushing them, pushing my daughter to go to the change.
They were at the court hearing?
Oh, yes, they would allow LGBTQ group Rise, because this organization is big, but especially Rise was there.
Is
in
it
court.
RISE?
Yes.
Okay.
DCFS, her attorney, and us.
And who was us? Just you and your
My-
children?
Yes.
Okay. And so at what point did the judge determine that she could have the hormone treatment?
Because everybody was saying that, she was at risk to take her life away. And that was going to help her. And I told them, no. Since day one, when they took it away, I was clear with them. Say, I don't allow all these changes that you want to do to my daughter, because that's not going to help at all. What this process is going to do is make her feel even the depression is going to get worse. Why? Because all the chemicals that doesn't belong to her body, she's going to react, and I don't agree. Focus in her mental health, and then if she's good here, when she's old enough, she can do whatever she wants, whatever she decides to do, but with her mental illness.
And she was still a minor
Yeah.
when he overruled your parental authority and allowed her to have this treatment.
Yes. Her answer, I remember that when that she said, well, group Rise agree for her to start the hormone treatment, and mom doesn't agree with it, so I'm gonna sign. And I remember that judge with a smile. So I will sign in behalf of her mom, because she was still a minor. But I couldn't decide anything in there. I was supposed to be there every time, and I didn't miss any day of court.
Was Yeli also there?
Sometimes they didn't know. She was not there, but I was there. But if she wasn't there, we didn't go in. Just the whole morning, just waiting if she was gonna show up.
Okay. So tell me about when you got to visit with her. How often did you see her once they took her away from you?
It was once a week.
And you would go to the group home or?
Group home,
Okay.
1 hour.
Okay.
And someone was calling us. I was not allowed to be alone with her because she was in danger with me. Because I was accused I was abuser towards her. But see how the system works? I have my other 2 minors. and I was accused. I went to get my fingerprint, and it was there that I was not allowed to be around children. Why they allow my other two to stay home with me?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
Well, because it's a lie.
Yes, because it was my daughter was an experiment to them, and they didn't want to let her go that easy.
So tell me about your visits with Yaley when you got to visit her once a week.
At the beginning, it was very hard because what these groomers do is they teach them not to be close, not to have a. I didn't know anything about all this. I just, why my daughter is acting this way. Like very distant. I remember the first time she was getting out of the elevator, and I got excited. I haven't seen, and I stood up and Jaylee, and she went like this. Oh, I was heartbroken inside, and I went, okay. So I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But they, what they do is teach your child not to get close contact, not to go back home, because if they go back home, all the treatment is going to stop. And with my daughter, Group Rise was pushing her, and I can say it with, every time I can, because that's what my daughter told me. Mom, I cannot go back home because they told me that you're not going to allow the treatment. And I said, that's right, because that's not the treatment that you need right now. So, but you know that I love you, and I always going to be here for you, no matter what. So she was very distant. My other kid, they stopped going and to visit because they say it really hurt us. But I don't know how you handle. We're not going, so I respect that. And I was there every Saturday, and that was for maybe 6 months or more. And then they gave me 2 hours. And 1 hour was with the therapist at the group home. He was there, and I used to bring lunch, eat together, play with her any game. And she was having a good time.
Did they restrict what you could say to her?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Like what?
Like I was not allowed, even they grew up in church, thank God. I was not allowed to talk with her anything about God. Period.
What did they say? What were their actual words?
That remember what you can talk to your daughter. You cannot ask her to come back home. Anything that will make her uncomfortable, you shouldn't say it, because that hour is going to go into 0.
So they threatened you.
Yes. So, but I didn't listen because I knew my principal. I knew that they knew God. So every time I brought, a little table like this, lunch, and I put it out, I said, that's yours. And, oh, Mom, you brought my favorite, yes. And I stop, and she always, Jaylee was like, follow every step. Are we going to pray? Just like this. And I say, yeah. So I pray, and sometimes I ask her, would you like to pray today? Okay. So she did because she knew, right? So, yeah, but I was not. One of the social workers once I believe, and I asked her not to show up, asked me, because they were like, you gotta use the male pronouns and all that with her, because if not, she's gonna take her life away, and it's gonna be on you.
Oh, my goodness.
And everything, it was gonna be my fault. And this one was very cold to ask me, I don't know, we keep coming here and I don't know why it's so hard for you. I'll give you an advice. Just make arrangement for a funeral for your daughter and adopt your son.
Oh my goodness.
And I go, did you hear yourself what you just told me? It's easy.
Lunatic.
Do you have kids? How dare you asking me to make a funeral when my daughter is going through, all this suicidal thought and do it after? And I say, I'm asking you to leave my house right now.
That is just so horrible.
Yeah, and always it was like they send these groups to support you. There is no support for parents. What they do is force you to use their name, the male pronouns, if it's a boy, the female. They force you. They don't, go with you. Oh, I understand that must be very difficult, but maybe just try, and see how. No,
No.
you gotta use. And I
Prepare for a
remember,
funeral.
yeah,
So I'm sure, of course, you were praying through the entire time. How did your church help or respond?
sadly, nobody was there. We seek for help. Even the first day that we were gonna appear in court, my daughter, my oldest daughter, reached out to the youth leader because my kids were, you know, every Tuesday, I believe, they had the youth group meetings. I dropped them off, and she asked him, "Can you please come to court with us? My mom and I, we don't know what's going to happen, just for support." His answer was, "Oh, no. I was Lindsay Longa's dad guard, and I can't. People knows me." And I went like, my daughter didn't, she told me after, and I say, "Really? They didn't visit us? I never received any phone calls. Not even a car. We used to tell, oh, this is what's going on." I thought we have a family. When you go to church, I believe that, the members, we're like family.
Brothers and
If
sisters in
someone
Christ,
is
yes.
hurt, how can I help you? I'm the one who like to help people. And it's hard for me to ask for help. But when it happened, when I went through all this, we did. And even the day that she got missing, we called them because we thought that we have support from church. Oh, we not close to the house. But they didn't go and visit us the next day or nothing.
Wow, that's very, very sad. Sorry to hear that.
It is. Because now I guess I check it out and I say, well, I'm alone. I need to keep on going, and with their help or without their help, it's my daughter. It's my responsibility. So my daughter was not gonna be the first one or the last one.
True.
And what I encourage them is the leader to get prepared to help families.
Yes.
There was another family, the Soto family, that I dearly appreciate them. They were members of this church, but then they move out. Special reasons, I guess. So they were there with me. And we were not even friends. I remember that my daughter met with her. And the day that my daughter passed, The whole family came.
Okay.
I appreciate them. I bless them because they were the only one who were there. Trying to help, she helped me. They helped me to arrange, and do the pictures and everything, the collage. But I never got a phone call from the youth leader or the pastor.
Pastor. Okay. Well, the church needs to be aware that this is happening more than they think, more than they know.
Yes.
Abigail, so as she was receiving the hormone treatments, did her body change or what was happening physically to her? Did you see anything different?
Yes. Her voice. She was suffering. Because remember, we gotta think that this is a chemical that they put into their body, doesn't belong to them. So these chemicals are overworking the body. My daughter suffered pain in her bones. She couldn't concentrate. She couldn't sleep because of the hormones. And I remember that she used to ask, Mom, I asked the doctor, what should I do with this pain? And he asked me to buy CBD oil, and that will help me. I remember that I used to buy her, and that's going to help you sleep. They messed up my daughter's life. And people need to know that this is not going to help, and the system tells you that that's going to save your child's life. If that happened, and that was going to happen with my daughter, why my daughter is not here? Why she decided to take her life away? Because she was not happy after all these changes, after they allowed the hormones, after they allowed to legally change her name, after they allow her to adopt a dog.
And they took her away from you.
And they took it away from me. I didn't have my daughter since 16 until the day that she died.
There's just nothing you can say except, I'm so sorry. It's a parent's worst nightmare.
Yes. I don't want anyone to go through what we've been going through because this pain never ends. But I hope the parents open their eyes and check, who's their kids are hanging out at school, what's going on with the teaching, what they're doing in their free time.
Yes, that is just so important nowadays. And, and part of my job, that's what I do, is I pay attention to what's going on in the culture, in the schools, and trying to raise awareness and let parents know that this is happening. And so you've been very brave to raise awareness, and I thank you for that, because you suffered the most unimaginable suffering that a parent can have, losing a child. Losing a child for whatever reason is difficult. Your life will never be the same. But you lost your child because your child was taken from you and brainwashed.
Yes.
Absolutely brainwashed.
And they, make up all these lights just to keep her and do the experiment with her. When I used to go to court, I learned, and my attorney agreed, when I said when the judge allowed all these treatments, And I said, you know what? Because when I asked the judge on that day, I said, please go and ask the judge not to allow that until she have a psych evaluation. I want her to allow my daughter to have a psych evaluation and see what's going on.
Did they ever
Why?
allow that?
No, he came back with papers, clapping. I remember, I have the picture. And he said, I asked, what happened? That she's going to stop the treatment? She said that there is no need for it, that she's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. And I said, you know what? Here is all political and is in your guys' agenda. Tell her that I learned a lot. All this time coming to court for nothing. My child was never returned back home, and I'm here just listening what the decision, but I can, my opinion,
Nothing.
it doesn't matter.
Did you realize that she was at the point where she wanted to take her life? Did she tell you that she did, or was it a shock to you?
My daughter, after the treatment, even with them, tried to take her life away many times. On that day, specifically, that day, I remember that I didn't have a good day. My friend invited me to have lunch. I couldn't eat my lunch. I stopped eating. And I said, I don't know what's going on with me, but I have pain. I feel a pain. And she said, are you okay? You want to go to the... No, it's a different pain. And I don't know why. My daughter, who was in the Marine in Japan, had a surgery on that Monday, same week. And Monday, I went out with my friend on Wednesday. And she said, maybe because Rossi had a surgery and you couldn't be there with her. And I thought about it and I said, yeah, I know, but this pain is different. Because one thing is that you're sad, I said, you feel sad. But another thing is when you feel pain. And she said, let's go have some ice cream. I left my food and I said, I'm going to take it to go. And I said, I'm going to get the one that Rossi likes. I was trying to the matcha ice cream. So I couldn't even eat my ice cream. And then, my friend, I just feel like cry. I wanted to cry, and I don't know why. So we just say goodbye. I say I have to go pick up my son at the high school. So I pick him up, and we always, hi, how was your day? And he asked me, how was your day, Mom? And I was looking, and I said, I don't know. I just want to cry. I feel like I like to run and scream, and I don't know why. So he right away asked me, have you talked to Yaley? And I said, I've been texting her, but you know how she is, do you want me to call her? And I said, when we get home, we can call her. When I got home, another friend called me and she said, my friend, how's it going? I haven't heard from you. And then I was home and I said, and I cried. And I said, I want to cry. And do you want me to pray for you? And I said, yes. And then she prayed. And I said, I got to let you go. I need to call my daughter. And that was it. I sent her a text. She replied later, like nothing was going on. And I remember I still have that text. Say, thank you for answering my text. How are you doing? She told me a little bit of her day. And then she didn't answer no more. And I said, well, maybe she's in the shower. Waited until maybe 9:30 or 10, when I got a phone call from Pomona. It just say Pomona, it didn't say Pomona police. So I answer, and I say hello, and it was the police. Are you the parent of Andrew? And I said, yes, what's going on? Oh, this is Pomona police, and he told me everything. Are you close by? Have you seen your daughter or your son? And I go like, no, I text, but can you text your child? And I say, yes. I send her a text, nothing. So nobody can open the door, and I gave them instruction how to go around. That's the my daughter's bedroom, and you can knock on the door. But I'm on my way. Are you close? Yes. So I just got into the car. My son was there, and I said, "You go to bed, and I'm gonna go check what's going on." Jaylee, I need to go check what's going on. No, I'm coming with you. And I said, you have school tomorrow? No, mom, I'm coming with you. We went. The police was there. Um,
And this is at the group home.
no, this was, she was leaving because they can stay there until day 18. So now she was in the independent living. So she was living in the apartment right there, Laverne, Pomona. So I just went, and he said, well, we're looking, someone received a text that, I think, and I asked him, can you track the number? Can you do something? We need to know. Oh, no, we have to have permission from the judge. And I said, there's no way that we're gonna wait until next day. So he was there, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta take this phone call. So he went outside, and he was talking with the guy. I just left, and I said, I need to go and search for my daughter. He's not looking, they're not looking, I have to go. So I went to Pomona Hospital, nothing, looking, the street, maybe she's walking. Everyone who was bringing in the ambulance, I was hoping that it was my daughter. And no, and then my son asked me, Mom, let's go, it's not Jaylee. And I said, yeah, you're right. When this police officer took that call is when he got a phone call saying that the person that they were looking was probably the one that they were attending in Pomona.
Okay.
They didn't say anything, so I just left until the next day I got a phone call.
They told you on a phone call?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how cold.
I just dropped off. I remember that drop off my son was driving back home in the freeway, and they asked me if I was driving, and I say yes. I need you to stop the car. And I said, who's calling? And I just need to give you some information about your daughter. Are you Jaylee's, AKA Andrew? Yes. And then they asked me question, does she have piercing there? And I went, yes. Okay, I need to give you some information. Can you park the car? So I just, the first street that I saw, and I didn't, there was a gas station right there by,
Did you know?
when they asked me to park the car, I started to cry, and I asked, please don't ask me to park my car. And I was crying, and I said no. So we found your daughter last night. I couldn't even see her for the last time because there were nothing to recognize. When they called me, they told me that 90% they were sure that it was my daughter. But they needed to do a DNA test too. So 2 days later, they confirmed that
It was Yaley.
it was Yaley. Uh, I remember that we used to pray every day that I dropped them off at school. And on that day, I was quiet. My son asked me, Mom, can I start praying? And I say, yes. So I pray for Yaley for the safe return. And then after I dropped him off is when I got the phone call. And I went back to school to pick him up. I was screaming. I was crying. I couldn't believe what I was hearing at that moment. And I said, no, that's not my daughter. I need to see her. And she said, ma'am, there's nothing that you can see.
Oh, Abigail, I'm so sorry. So sorry. And how are your children?
They're okay. They're not doing good. Each of them trying to,
Cope.
yeah. You know, they destroyed not just my daughter's life, but the whole family.
Yes.
And I remember because I used to pray, I used to declare, confess that she was going to be in a big audience, giving the testimony what God done. I remember that when I was crying, right there in the parking lot, I hear a voice, where is your daughter now? When this is when I gave that testimony. Oh, you declare, you believe. I remember that I stopped and I said, even in the pain, the ugly, God is gonna use it for good.
Absolutely.
To be honest, I couldn't pray for a long time. Not because I was mad at God. I couldn't. I just,
The
every time I
emotions.
wanted, I just cry. And I say, you know, my pain. You know how I feel.
Yes. He knows.
And I know, and like I said, that this pain doesn't have a name, beginning or end. There's time that I can talk, and there's time that my heart can't handle it. There's days that I'm in the car crying and screaming. People tell you sometimes, oh, but you gotta think that she's in better place. Yeah, it's easy to say it. I told one person, I say, yeah, being my shoes is a different story. We
Absolutely.
can say it, and I know that for a fact that but we,
The
that
pain.
pain and all what we went through for nothing.
Yes.
The system, this broken system needs to change. These
Absolutely.
people is getting a lot of power. And if we don't stand up and do something, they're gonna do whatever they want with our kid. And I don't want that.
And they are. And it's getting worse. And the government is helping. The schools
Yes.
are helping. The social services are helping. The LGBT groups are helping.
Yes.
We need the churches to help.
Yes. We need as a church to stand up and not let them ruin, our life or ruling how you teach your kid what you believe.
Yeah. You can raise your kids to know the Lord, raise them in the church, pray for them, do the best that you can
Yes.
do to be a good parent. But the world out there, Satan is after our children with the help of the same government that I
Government.
mentioned.
Yes.
In California is especially bad.
Yes.
Our schools are especially bad.
We can't trust the school.
You
And
cannot
like
trust.
I said, that's the second home for our kids when they're in school.
Right.
They are there 7 hours, 8 hours when they have extra curriculum. So
What is
with
your suggestion to parents now, Abigail?
to be aware, to be, to get involved, to get to know your children's friends, the parents. So I don't want anyone to get into the point when DCFS was there and took away all the parenting power that we have. If they see that their kids are struggling, going under take them out of school. Take them out of school or switch to a homeschool. I know it's very difficult to say some of the parents have to work, both of them.
Right.
Both parents need to work, but I hope I have the money and gave money to schools so they can help the parents that they don't have the facility to pay private school.
Well, what's so difficult is that I think that parents probably feel that this would never happen to their family,
That's a good
right?
point.
Is that
Yes.
not who you were? You did never think it would happen to you?
I never thought about it. I never thought about it. It was like, yeah, I never, gotta sit and say, okay, let me see what. No, it's like I see it like when you're driving, you drive and you keep on going. You see that there's 2 people, 3 people got involved in the car accident, but you never think that that can happen to you. You say, oh, I hope they're okay, and you keep on going.
Right.
Same thing, it happened. We hear, we see, but oh, poor kid. Oh, let's not get too close to them. So instead of helping, instead of some kid, they just need attention.
Yeah.
Now when I usually, see, and that age is very difficult.
Well, I would
Teenage.
never want to be a teenager
Yeah.
again. I mean, I remember I was growing up and I was picked on because I was tall and skinny myself. So I know those feelings.
Yes.
It's real and it almost sticks with you for life. So who wants to be a teenager again
Yeah.
when you're just so vulnerable?
No, nobody, I
Right.
believe. And especially with the hormones are, they're changing.
Yeah.
And a lot of thoughts going into their head. And now when I see a teenager, in my mind, I pray that I see them sad. And I just think about my daughter,
Of
what she
course.
went through.
Yes.
So it breaks my heart. And I say, God, Lord, help this kid.
Yes. Well, Abigail, your story is very moving, heartfelt, and I so appreciate you coming to talk so that we can help other parents know what's going on because we don't want this to happen to one more child. And so I Look forward to getting to know you better and supporting you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome at this church. We would love to have you.
Thank you.
And I just think that we need to all be more informed, bold, and courageous and stand up and talk about these things. So thank you so much,
Yes.
Abigail, for
Thank
being with
you.
us.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. So thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight. And we just hope that this information was valuable to you, that the grief that Abigail has experienced is not something that will ever happen again to any one child. And I wanted to talk about a few other things after this, but I just don't feel it's the right time or the right place. But please share this with other friends and family. Make sure that, especially here in California, even in our own small Chino Hills Valley community, that parents hear about this story because they're trying to change policies in our own school district, and we're fighting back because we don't want these policies here. And so pay attention to what's going on in your school district. Take a look at the meeting agenda. Look for clues about them bringing policies in disguise called things like non-discrimination policies, which is happening in our own school district. Because we need to stand up and speak up. You need to get your church involved, and you need to help put a stop to this in California. So vote wisely, because these leaders are giving us laws that affect our children, just like Yaley, just like what Abigail has expressed and experienced. And if we don't stand up and speak up, we're never going to be able to protect our children. So thank you all for being with us tonight. God bless you all. Bless your children. Thank you very much.